Hello and welcome back to another brand new episode of Be Smart, Play Dumb, where I'll teach you how to play the game of life. Because if you don't know how to play it, ladies, you'll already know what's going to happen. You will get played. Welcome back. This is one of my first YouTube videos, actually, for everybody watching, but also listening. This will not only be up on my Spotify podcast, but also on my YouTube channel, because I really want to hit you from every angle as possible. I feel like that sounded really wrong, but just I want to give you another layer or another element of when I coach or give advice, which is now also more visual. Okay. And I'm trying to put this all into my own hands because I did have amazing studios I used to work with, but because I'm traveling a lot, my routine is very unpredictable. I'm trying to make this all work myself with the mic and everything. So currently I'm at home, set up in my beautiful kitchen. How nice is the interior? And it's really good lighting. The reason I have set up in the kitchen and not necessarily in my bedroom is because we're literally currently going through a cyclone category 3 in Australia. We're living in a beautiful beachfront apartment, literally like 10 meters from the beach, and the waves are already huge. The wind is crazy, and it's not necessarily the best weather, you know? So we all know all the girlies that love to take photos in front of, the windows because of the light. That ain't working for me today. So we set up in the kitchen. I poured myself my kombucha as always. This feels so intimate, like I'm talking to a girlfriend. It's a very different setting to when I present in like a studio. But I think it's very authentic, and that's what we like to do here, right? So cheers. I'm gonna have a little sip. Mm. And before we get into it, I want to also give a trigger warning and just explain quickly. I am so busy. I haven't had my nails done in so long and forever. And I literally had like private messages this morning when I woke up on my Instagram where people literally reached out and they were like, Queen, we love you so much. I love all of your advice, but also your nails are very irritating. And I was like, I know, they're irritating me too, but I'll let you in on a little secret. I actually don't like getting my nails done at all. I love having them done, but I hate sitting there for an hour and just, having to do them and everything. It just takes so long. And I don't know. So I've kind of been pushing it out because I'm currently so busy building an empire, okay, that I haven't been focusing on getting my nails done. All right. With all of that being said, my loves, today's topic is very interesting, as always, very exciting and knowledgeable because I was inspired by a few coaching sessions this week when I spoke to some one-on-one clients. And this has been, for some reason, a underlying thread that peeled through every single coaching session. It was like the topic of this week, okay, which is commitment. What makes a man commit to you? And while you're watching this and you might be happily married, you've got like your first child on the way, your fiance, whatever, this is still really important knowledge to you because it also explains the underlying black cat versus golden retriever dynamic, okay? So, what makes a man commit? This is literally a formula that is Anna Christina trademarked, patented, tested, and proven, okay? So, I came up with this formula, which is the following: a man, to be honest, probably every man on this planet wants to have his freedom. Okay. This is his life, no rules, no commitment, his bachelor lifestyle where he's just partying. He can go out. I'm not saying everybody wants to party or every man wants to party. Okay. But stay with me. This is just where he can live his life on his terms. There's no sacrifices. There is no bending over backwards to please or chase a woman. Okay. And most men really value their freedom. They value not having responsibilities, not having commitment, and just going about their day and coming, going as they please, seeing their friends, going to the pub until 3 a.m., and occasionally even hooking up with other women, right? And I think that honestly, as toxic as it sounds, I think every man has it in them to want to sleep with like multiple women, if that makes sense. And I think if a man wouldn't be in love or men wouldn't, commit to a woman, they would always have that option open to be open to hook up with as many women as possible. Okay. So all of that being said falls into this one category over here. If you're watching this or if you're listening to this, sorry, if you're listening to this, I'm literally holding up my right hand right now. So that's one side. I want you to think that's one category. That's his lifestyle. That's his freedom without you or without a woman in it. Okay. That's the bachelor lifestyle. And I think that every man on this planet, as a conclusion, one more time for you to make this land, actually really values that. Okay. And if they could, they would want to have that for the rest of their lives. Just no commitments, just hooking up with whoever they want to, having all the freedom in the world while making money, while growing their business, getting, their ego validation and attention, whatever. But now, for everybody listening, I'm holding up my left hand. There's a woman here. This is you. Okay. And sometimes men are afraid to enter a commitment with a woman or a relationship because they're scared that this woman here, you on the left hand side, will take away everything from this other category, which is his freedom. Okay. So they're scared that once they enter a relationship with this woman they're seeing, which is you at the moment, maybe, okay, that they have to make too many sacrifices. And this is why they sometimes end up ghosting you. This is why they all of a sudden pull out, because you were not worth the sacrifice to give up his own freedom and having to somewhat fit in with you on your terms. Which, by the way, if you are a woman, a black cat woman with high standards, and you don't bend over backwards for him and you stay in your black cat energy, and if you don't know what it is, please go back and watch all of my other episodes because I've spoken about it multiple times. It will save you from dusty men or from fuckboys who don't want to commit to you anyway, because in the stages of dating, this man is realizing by you not lowering your standards and being punctual and being whatever, committed, showing up and like picking up the phone, not always, right? But sometimes men then pull back after maybe dating for 2 or 3 weeks because they're realizing, oh shit, like this woman requires for me to fit in with her. She has high standards, she has non-negotiables, she has deal breakers, and I have to somewhat give up some things of that right category, right? That first category, his freedom, his lifestyle. He needs to alter his lifestyle in order to fit in with you. And some men, I will tell you, are just not ready to do that for you. And if you would ask me what the reason for that is, honestly, number one, they're not emotionally committed enough. And that goes back to the saying, if he wanted to, he would, right? Or they're just immature and they're just truly not looking for commitment because, again, they value their freedom. They value being able to hook up with whoever they want to hook up with. They value going out until the pub until 3 a.m. and not having somebody like a mother call him and chase and be like, when are you coming home? Like, you're in a committed relationship now. So sometimes men fade out of your life because they're truly like, you know what, she's too hard work. She probably is too good for me. She's better than me, And sometimes I'm telling you this because women need to hear this. When a man goes to you, it's not necessarily because they found someone better or because, like you're shit and you're unworthy or whatever. It's sometimes honestly their own fault or their own problem because they realize, shit, I can't afford her yet. Shit, I can't be with her yet because that is a woman that is almost out of my league that requires me to change and make sacrifices of my lifestyle. Okay. Now, this is everything explained why a man doesn't commit to you. Okay. And now I want to flip it on its head and explain to you what now differentiates the woman that I just firstly spoke about, the woman that is just, not enough for him to want to change and want to commit, or the dream girl where he's like, fuck it. I'm so happy to fit in with her. I'm so happy to also level up and meet her at her standards. I'm so happy to work around her deal breakers and non-negotiables and please her and provide for her. And I'm happy to make the sacrifice of giving up my own lifestyle choices, whether that's smoking or drinking or unhealthy food or being unpredictable, being unreliable, even sleeping with other women. Like I'm happy I'm happy giving up sleeping with other women and being open to meeting other women because she is like no other. I want to be with her. Okay. So I just want to make sure that you understand the first woman I just spoke about is that golden retriever type of woman. She's a woman that is usually stuck in situationships and is the type of woman that asks herself, why is he not taking a step further? And I'm going to emphasize this one more time. For anybody listening to this and you're stuck in a situationship or you're currently dating a man and you're waiting for commitment, when you've been waiting in a situationship for years or like a long time, whatever, even 6, 7 months, and he still hasn't made you his girlfriend, he still can't tell you I love you and all of these things. Here is the reason why. And I want you to very carefully listen to this. Also like, subscribe, comment, and share it with all of your girlfriends because this is groundbreaking insight. Okay. I just spoke about these two categories, didn't I? This is you versus his own life, no problems, no commitment, freedom, bachelor lifestyle. If you are in a situationship with a man, for everybody listening, I'm holding up my two hands again, left and right. If you're in a situationship with a man, you're right in the middle, okay? He gets you and all the benefits of that left side, that second category, which is you, commitment, but also fun and like sex, and maybe you're cooking for him, or maybe after the hookup and the one night stand, you know, you're cleaning his underwear folder, whatever, you're packing his laundry, you're running, you know, errands, you're bringing him a coffee after you stayed over. So he gets all the benefits of you as a woman. He gets excuse me, I'm getting passionate. He gets all the wifey, all the girlfriend uplifts without making sacrifices to his own lifestyle, to his, you know, freedom. So this is the sweet spot, okay? And this is so crazy to me because no one teaches you this but me. This is the sweet spot. And hand on my heart, I'm going to say this to you, that I truly think if every man could stay in this sweet spot forever, they would. Because it's perfect. It's what every man wants. Like, the benefits of a woman, sexual intimacy, physical intimacy, and all of the uplifts and the benefits of a relationship, but without the negative aspects of a relationship, the almost, you know, consequences or commitment, or, oh my God, my freedom is taken away, and oh my God, I have to commit to her, and oh my God, she's gonna check in with me and I have to be home on time. If every man could be in that sweet spot of a situationship and woman would be happy with it, and I'm sorry, some of you apparently are, because you've been stuck with him for years and he still hasn't made this next move, they would. They could keep this going for 20, 30 years because there's no urgency for him to lift a single finger, to move, and to take it to the next step and actually commit to you. And do you know why? Because there is no urgency, because he's not losing you. There's no threat of losing you. You're right there, always on call. And at the same time, he's got that perfect uplift of still having his own lifestyle, still going out with the boys, can still hook up with other women, by the way. You're not committed. And, you know, and then you reach out to me and you say, oh my God, he's following other girls on Instagram. I'm in a situationship with him. Like, but I know he loves me because sometimes he tells me. A man can tell you all the things he wants to. He knows exactly what he needs to tell you for you to stick around and for him to keep staying in the sweet spot of that gray zone. You know, it's not black and white. It's not you versus his freedom and his own life without you in it. But it's the perfect marriage of the two. He gets access to you without making sacrifices to his life. Okay. I want you to honestly view this visually. I'm a very visual learner. This is why I'm talking a lot with my hands. Think about it. It's you versus his freedom. And if he loves you enough, and I'll also give you a test in a second how you can test this. If he loves you enough, you, by pulling away in a situationship and embodying black cat energy, are subconsciously forcing him to an ultimatum to take it to the next step. Why are you doing this? Because all of a sudden, off the sweet spot where he gets access to both of the best worlds, you, girlfriend duties, you know, wifey duties, and all of these beautiful benefits of being with you, plus his own freedom, you're removing yourself out of the equation. And by pulling back and not giving him access to you anymore, he's realizing, oh shit, like I do need to fit in with her. Now it's on her terms. Oh, if I don't make sacrifices to giving up my lifestyle or my freedom and being more predictable and showing up on time and picking up the phone and actually telling her I love her and committing to her and giving up talking to other women and following all these Instagram fans, OnlyFans on Instagram, whatever, then I lose her. And now back to my point. What did I tell you in the beginning of this podcast? When a man feels that he's losing you, he is now confronted with the ultimatum of, oh shit, I have to, you know, fit in with her and meet her at her standards and non-negotiables. And sometimes, what did I say? What did I say? Sometimes it's too much work. Okay. And this is why sometimes when you embody black hat energy and he's not chasing you, I'm sorry, but that's your answer, baby girl. Okay. You just saved yourself a heap of time because this man was never able to commit to you. And I saved you because I woke you up from this fever dream that you were stuck in for years. Okay. And this delusional little bubble of one day he's going to wake up and the more I do for him and da da da. No, listen to this. Everything I just explained to you, the more you do for him, the less he's going to do for you. Like, it doesn't work that way. Men and women are wired very differently. Okay. So the moment you pull back, if you want an answer and you're stuck in a situation or you are dating and he after a while still hasn't really made that next step to take it further, you know, whatever that looks like, does he tell you that he loves you? Does he tell you he wants to make it exclusive? If you're still waiting on that, pull back a little bit, be a little bit more unpredictable, snap out of the routine, stop doing so much for him. And if he loves you enough, okay, and this sometimes is the case, and I've seen this with clients happen, okay, Sometimes in a situationship, like I said, every man wants the best of both worlds. You, without having to make sacrifices, okay? Having that gray zone, that sweet spot for them, where a woman suffers and he flourishes. He loves it. So all of a sudden, if you then pull away and he's realizing, shit, like I really need to change something. And now that there's so much absence and distance between me and her, I'm realizing that I do, in fact, actually really like her. I enjoy having her around. I miss her when I fall asleep. I do want to be with her. And now that she's not fully accessible to me because she's becoming strict on her routine, she doesn't always pick up the phone. Sometimes she cancels on seeing me. She doesn't just jump when I say jump. Okay, like I guess she has new standards that I need to fit in. And you know what? I'm happy to fit into her standards. I'm happy to make sacrifices to my own freedom to be with her because she's worth it. Okay, so this now opens the solution or the topic of this whole damn ass video podcast. What makes a man commit? I've just given you the whole formula of, like the sweet spot that every man wants to be in, having access to a beautiful woman, having access to a feminine, sensual, sexual energy, but also not giving up sleeping with other women and having his freedom and no one to tell him off and da da da. The woman that is the black cat, the dream girl, is the woman that sets the ultimatum right from the start, okay, through her actions, through her words, through how she shows up and interacts with him. I'll give you examples in a second, but anyway, the black cat is the woman that is worth it for him to fit into her life. It's worth it for him to make the sacrifice to not want to be with other women, to not want to go out until the pub until 4 a.m., to not want to, stay out and whatever, hang out with his guy friends and chat about other girls and haha, he he. It's worth it for him because it feels like a reward being with her. And go back to all of my episodes. I'm telling you this left, right, and center every single day, also on my TikTok. What makes a man feel like he's with a woman that is a reward when she wasn't easy to get? Because men don't appreciate what's freely given to them. Men appreciate and they bond with things, with women, with people by, obtaining, by pursuing, by literally hunting them down and making them theirs. Because in their male ego mind, it feels like an accomplishment. Boom. There you go. So you have to really stick to your standards and you have to know what you want. And you can't always say yes and amen to everything he does. And you need to make it hard for him in the beginning. And you should know your standards. And make very clear from the beginning that he needs to fit in with you. Because just like I said, I'm going to say it one last time, the woman that he happily commits to is a woman that he happily gives up his freedom, gives up his own lifestyle choices that he happily changes for. And funnily enough, I mean, this is a long video now, and I'm actually really enjoying this. So leave me a comment below if you enjoy the video podcast, in my little kitchen setup, like homemade studio. But I've done videos on this exact topic ages ago on my TikTok, and people were going crazy at me because sometimes I also lack the time to obviously explain everything to you. But then, also on the other hand, I know damn well what I'm doing on social media, I can tell you that. So I know exactly what to say and not to say in order to wind some people up. But I did say in this one video, it's not about the ring. It's not about the marriage certificate. It's not about moving in together. A man's commitment is not measured in how quickly he puts a ring on you. Yeah, it's a beautiful byproduct. It's amazing. And it's a gesture of love. But you can be married and miserable. You can be engaged and miserable. You can live together and fight every single freaking day because he is just not, a good man for you. Or maybe he's with you out of complacency, or he's with you out of comfort, or because of convenience, or whatever it is, like peer pressure, religious beliefs, cultures, like your parents telling you or forcing you into this, or even friends being like, oh, this person is good for you. Do you see what I mean? So, okay, Anna, what is the biggest sign of commitment? When a man is able to change for you. That's the biggest sign of commitment. Because I'm going to tell you this on a, friend to friend or human to human basis. I mean, I'm talking to a lot of women here, but in general, it takes a lot of mental discipline and willpower to look at yourself as a person, regardless of what gender. I'm just talking in general right now, and look at your own unconscious habits or beliefs or thoughts, and then taking the necessary action to change them. Okay. So it's almost like it's a reward or the biggest sign of commitment from a man when he is able to look at himself, look at his lifestyle, look at, his character, his values, or what he's currently doing, like engaging with all these women on social media, like that's a lot of pleasurable things if you think about it, right? This is why I said they love their freedom. They don't actually really want to sacrifice it. And so all of a sudden, all of these pleasurable things, these unconscious habits, because you come in his life and you presented him a challenge, and you made him chase you, and you know how all of that works because I've spoken about this previously. But all of a sudden you come into his life, he looks at his own life, he looks at his habits, he looks at who he is and what he's doing and engaging in all these pleasurable things and all of these temptations, and he says, no, not today. Not today. From today on, no more. I want to be with this woman. And so that is truly the biggest sign of commitment. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Like I said, it's a little bit different because I'm literally sitting in my little kitchen setup. But leave me some comments below. Also, make sure to head to my YouTube if you only listen to this on Spotify. And I might be doing another one next week, okay? If you have any further topic suggestions or requests or comments, feel free to also leave them below or email me at admin@blackcatacademy.com. Cheers, and I will see you next week. Much love.